Lovely viewers, settle in gently because it's one of those scenes that doesn't need background music to feel cinematic, because the emotion carries its own rhythm. This is the story of Hye Kyo watching proudly as Lee Min-ho masters bottle feeding, a simple act that somehow became one of the most touching images fans have ever imagined, shared and held close. Picture the atmosphere first. Not a studio, not a set, no bright lights or staff moving around quietly in the background. Just a calm, lived-in space where time slows down naturally. The kind of place where laughter can fade into comfortable silence, where small sounds matter, where every movement feels meaningful. Lee Min-ho is seated carefully, holding a bottle with focused attention. His posture slightly tense at first, like someone who knows the importance of the task and doesn't want to get it wrong. And nearby, Hye Kyo watches, not hovering, not correcting, just observing with that unmistakable look of warmth and pride that needs no explanation. Lovely viewers, what makes this moment so powerful is not the act itself. Bottle feeding is something countless parents and caregivers do every single day. But when fans imagine Lee Min-ho, known for his commanding presence and effortless charisma, slowing himself down to match the gentle rhythm of a baby, it creates a contrast that feels almost magical. His movements are careful. His expression is serious in the most tender way. Every slight adjustment of the bottle, every pause, every glance downward is filled with intention. And Hye Kyo sees all of it. She notices the way he checks the angle of the bottle, making sure it's just right. She notices how his shoulders gradually relax as his confidence grows. She notices the tiny smile that appears when he realizes he's doing well. And in that quiet observation there is pride. Not loud pride. Not the kind that demands recognition. But the deep, steady pride that comes from seeing someone you care about step into a role with patience and sincerity. Fans who heard about this moment or imagined it through gentle storytelling couldn't stop talking about Hye Kyo's expression. They described it as soft, glowing, almost emotional. Some said they imagined her arms folded loosely. Others imagined her sitting nearby with her hands resting calmly in her lap. But everyone agreed on one thing: her eyes. They were watching not just the act, but the heart behind it. Watching Lee Min-ho learn, adjust, and succeed in something so personal made her admiration feel even deeper. Lovely viewers, this is where the emotional ripple truly begins. Fans didn't just see a celebrity bottle feeding. They saw growth. They saw care. They saw effort. They saw a man willing to be present in the smallest details, understanding that these small moments are the foundation of something much bigger. And they saw a woman who didn't need to instruct or intervene, because trust was already there. That trust, fans said, was the most beautiful part of all. As Lee Min-ho continues feeding, there's a brief moment of uncertainty. The bottle slips slightly. Pauses. His brows knit together for just a second. Hye Kyo doesn't rush in. She doesn't panic. She simply smiles gently and offers a quiet reassurance. Maybe just a few words, maybe just a look. And that's all he needs. He adjusts, steadies himself, and continues. That exchange, so small and ordinary, felt monumental to fans. Showed partnership. Showed balance. Showed respect. Lovely viewers, many fans admitted this moment brought tears to their eyes. Not because it was sad, but because it was real. In a world filled with curated perfection, this scene felt refreshingly imperfect. Showed learning. Showed patience. It showed that even someone admired by millions is still discovering new roles, new responsibilities, and new ways to love. And Hye Kyo's quiet pride made it even more meaningful. What touched people most was the way she watched him without distraction. No phone. No multitasking. Just presence. Fans said it reminded them of moments in their own lives. Watching someone they love try something new, struggle briefly, then succeed. It brought back memories of partners learning to hold a baby, siblings stepping up unexpectedly, friends surprising them with gentleness. This story became a mirror, reflecting personal experiences back to those who listened. Lovely viewers, as the feeding continues, Lee Min-ho grows more comfortable. His movements become smoother. His grip relaxes. He even begins to smile, not at anyone else, but at the quiet success of the moment. Hye Kyo notices this shift immediately. Her pride deepens not because the task is done, but because the care is genuine. Fans imagined her heart swelling, not with spectacle, but with appreciation. This moment also changed how many fans viewed masculinity. They spoke about how powerful it was to see strength expressed through gentleness. How attractive it felt to see patience instead of dominance, care instead of control. Lee Min-ho's willingness to embrace this role openly made fans reflect on outdated ideas about parenting and partnership. They praised the balance, the shared responsibility, the mutual respect that this scene represented. Lovely viewers, comments poured in from fans across generations. Older fans spoke about remembering their own early parenting days, the nerves, the learning curve, the quiet victories. Younger fans spoke about feeling inspired, about seeing a future they hoped for, one built on cooperation and emotional presence. Some admitted they never thought a bottle feeding moment could feel so impactful, yet here they were, moved beyond words. Hye Kyo's role in this moment was not passive. Her watching was active, intentional, full of meaning. She wasn't stepping back because she didn't care. She was stepping back because she trusted. That distinction mattered deeply to fans. It showed confidence in her partner and security in their shared bond. Her pride wasn't performative. It was grounded. Lovely viewers, as the bottle feeding comes to an end, Lee Min-ho doesn't immediately hand over responsibility. He stays present. He checks again. He ensures everything is okay. That follow-through mattered. Fans said it showed that care doesn't stop once a task is completed. It continues in the checking, the awareness, the willingness to remain engaged. Hye Kyo's expression at that moment was described by fans as unforgettable. A mix of relief, admiration, and love. No applause. No announcement. Just a look that said everything. That look became the emotional centerpiece of the story. It was the kind of look people hope to give and receive in their own lives. Lovely viewers, this story spread not because it was sensational, but because it was tender. It offered something people didn't know they needed. A reminder that love is built in quiet moments, that pride can be soft, that learning together strengthens bonds. Fans returned to this story again and again, not for excitement but for comfort. As time passed, the image of Hye Kyo watching Lee Min-ho master bottle feeding became symbolic. It represented growth, partnership, and shared responsibility. It reminded people that the most meaningful milestones aren't always celebrated publicly. Sometimes they happen quietly, witnessed by just one pair of loving eyes. And as that tenderness settles gently in your heart, the story does not end there. In fact, it continues to unfold in layers, each one softer, deeper, and more inclusive than the last, because moments like these never truly stop at the point where the action ends. They linger, they echo, they grow meaning over time. Lovely viewers, what followed that quiet bottle feeding moment was not applause or celebration, but something far more lasting. A shift in atmosphere, a deepened connection, and an emotional afterglow that wrapped itself around everyone present, and eventually, everyone who heard about it. After the bottle was finished and the baby settled, there was a pause. Not an awkward pause, but a peaceful one. The kind where no one feels the need to speak because everything important has already been said without words. Lee Min-ho remained seated, still holding the bottle for a moment longer than necessary, almost as if he was savoring the calm that followed. Hye Kyo continued to watch him. Her pride now mixed with a quiet sense of fulfillment. Fans imagine that look as one of those rare expressions that doesn't fade quickly, the kind that stays with you long after the moment has passed. What touched people deeply was imagining how this small success changed something inside Lee Min-ho himself. Fans spoke about how mastering bottle feeding wasn't just about learning a skill, but about realizing capability, about understanding that he could show up, adapt, and provide care in ways that go far beyond what he is known for publicly. That realization, fans believed, likely brought him a sense of grounding unlike anything fame could offer. And Hye Kyo saw that transformation happen in real time. Lovely viewers, many fans lingered on the idea that Hye Kyo didn't step in to take over immediately afterward. Instead, she allowed the moment to fully belong to him. That choice spoke volumes. It showed respect for his effort and acknowledgement of his role. In that quiet acceptance, fans saw equality not in words but in action. They saw a partnership where both people trusted each other's competence and intentions. As the imagined scene continued in fans' hearts, they spoke about what might have followed next. Perhaps Lee Min-ho carefully placed the bottle aside, double-checking that it was properly closed or set down safely. Perhaps he glanced up at Song Hye Kyo, searching her face for confirmation, and found it there instantly in her smile. That silent exchange, fans said, felt more intimate than any dramatic confession scene could ever be. Lovely viewers, what made this continuation so emotionally rich was how relatable it became. Parents, caregivers, and even those who had never held a baby before found themselves drawn in. People shared how they remembered the first time they felt trusted with something precious. The nervousness, focus, the quiet pride when it went well. This story unlocked those memories, reminding people of moments when they, too, were watched with encouragement rather than judgment. As discussions continued, fans also reflected on how rare it is to see men portrayed with such gentle responsibility in popular narratives. They praised the image of Lee Min-ho taking time to learn, rather than assuming competence. They admired his willingness to be careful, to pay attention, to be present. And they appreciated that Song Hye Kyo's pride came not from perfection, but from effort. That distinction resonated deeply with audiences across cultures. Lovely viewers, this story also sparked conversations about emotional labor and shared responsibility. Fans pointed out how meaningful it was that this moment was not framed as extraordinary because a man was feeding a baby, but extraordinary because of the care, intention, and mutual respect involved. That nuance mattered. It shifted the narrative from novelty to normalcy, from praise for participation to appreciation for presence. As time passed, the imagined memory of this moment became something fans revisited when they needed comfort. Some said they thought about it during stressful days, finding calm in the simplicity of it. Others said it reminded them to slow down, to approach responsibilities with patience rather than pressure. A few admitted it inspired them to be more supportive observers in their own relationships, to watch with pride instead of stepping in too quickly. Lovely viewers, Song Hye Kyo's role continued to stand out as the emotional anchor of the story. Her pride was not loud, but it was steady. It didn't seek validation. It simply existed, rooted in trust and appreciation. Fans said that kind of pride feels rare in a world that often rewards correction over encouragement. Seeing it represented, even through storytelling, felt healing. The continuation of this moment also highlighted how love often reveals itself in watching rather than doing. Song Hye Kyo didn't need to hold the bottle to show care. Her presence, her attention, her willingness to let Lee Min-ho find his rhythm was an act of love in itself. Fans found that deeply moving, especially those who had learned, sometimes painfully, how powerful supportive silence can be. Lovely viewers, as the scene gently faded, many imagined the two of them later reflecting on it together. Perhaps with a quiet laugh. Perhaps with a soft comment about how nervous he had been. Perhaps with her reassuring him that he did wonderfully. That imagined conversation became another layer of comfort for fans, symbolizing communication built on kindness rather than criticism. What made this continuation feel endless was how naturally it connected to everyday life. Fans didn't see this as a one-time moment, but as the beginning of many similar ones. Night feedings, shared glances, small adjustments, growing confidence, growing trust, each moment building upon the last, forming a foundation of shared experience that feels far more meaningful than grand gestures. Lovely viewers, the emotional weight of this story also lies in what it doesn't show. There is no rush, no urgency, no outside pressure, just two people moving at the pace of care. In a world that constantly demands speed, this slow, deliberate moment felt revolutionary in its own quiet way. Fans said it reminded them that love does not need to hurry. As you sit with this extended continuation, you may notice how it gently invites you inward. It asks you to reflect on how you support others, how you watch them grow, how you offer trust instead of control, and how you celebrate progress, even when it comes in small, ordinary forms. Lovely viewers, this story continues because it belongs to everyone who has ever learned something new under a loving gaze. Everyone who has felt nervous but encouraged. Everyone who has watched someone they love step into responsibility with care. It is inclusive because it does not demand a specific role, belief, or experience. It simply asks you to remember what tenderness feels like. Long after the moment itself has passed, and even beyond that quiet feeling that settles into the chest, the story keeps unfolding in ways that feel almost personal to anyone who holds it close. Lovely viewers, this is how gentle moments grow roots. They don't fade when the scene changes. They quietly influence what comes next, shaping attitudes, softening hearts, and reminding people of who they want to be when no one is watching. In the imagined stillness after that feeding, there is a sense of shared calm, the kind that only comes after care has been given with intention. Lee Min-ho doesn't rush to stand or move on to something else. He lingers, absorbing the weight and warmth of what just happened. Song Hye Kyo remains nearby, not as a supervisor, not as an observer from a distance, but as a steady presence. Fans felt that presence deeply. They described it as grounding, as if her quiet pride created a safe space where learning could continue without fear of doing something wrong. Lovely viewers, many reflected on how this moment subtly redefined success. Success wasn't measured by perfection or speed, but by patience, by attention, by the willingness to try and adjust. Lee Min-ho mastering bottle feeding wasn't about proving capability. It was about embracing responsibility with humility. And Song Hye Kyo's pride wasn't about validation. It was about recognition. Recognition of effort, of growth, of care. That distinction resonated strongly with fans who are often surrounded by pressure to perform flawlessly. As the story continued to circulate, fans began imagining the smaller details that make moments like this unforgettable. The quiet sounds in the room. The gentle rhythm of breathing. The way Lee Min-ho might glance up briefly, seeking reassurance, and how Song Hye Kyo's expression alone would provide it. Those imagined details mattered because they made the scene feel real, lived in, and human. They turned a simple act into a shared emotional memory. Lovely viewers, this continuation also opened conversations about trust, not the dramatic kind declared in words, but the everyday trust built through actions. Song Hye Kyo trusted Lee Min-ho to learn, to make small adjustments, to find his own rhythm. That trust allowed him to grow more confident. Fans recognized this dynamic instantly because many had lived the opposite, moments where trust was withheld, where mistakes were met with correction instead of encouragement. Seeing trust portrayed so gently felt healing. As more people sat with the story, they noticed how it challenged the idea that care must be perfected to be valuable. Lee Min-ho didn't need to be flawless. He needed to be present. He needed to care enough to focus. And that was enough. Song Hye Kyo's pride reflected that understanding. Fans said this message felt especially important in a world that often confuses criticism with guidance and control with love. Lovely viewers, the inclusivity of this moment also lies in how many people saw themselves in it, regardless of their role in life. Some saw themselves as Lee Min-ho, learning something new under a supportive gaze. Others saw themselves as Song Hye Kyo, watching someone they love step into responsibility. And some saw themselves as both, remembering times when they were guided and times when they guided others. This duality allowed everyone to feel included, seen, and understood. The story also lingered because it spoke to balance. Balance between stepping in and stepping back. Between offering help and allowing independence. Song Hye Kyo didn't withhold care, she allowed space. That balance is difficult to master, and fans admired it deeply. They spoke about how rare it is to feel supported without feeling overshadowed. This moment represented that balance beautifully. Lovely viewers, as the imagined day continued, fans pictured how this quiet success might influence future moments. How Lee Min-ho's confidence would grow with each feeding. How Song Hye Kyo's pride would deepen, not because the task became routine, but because the care remained intentional. They imagined shared glances in the middle of the night, small smiles exchanged without words, and the unspoken understanding that they were learning together. What made this continuation even more meaningful was how it reframed intimacy. Intimacy wasn't portrayed as dramatic gestures or intense declarations. It was shown as shared responsibility, mutual respect, and quiet encouragement. Fans said this version of intimacy felt more realistic and more desirable than anything scripted. It reminded them that love is often built in silence, through consistency rather than spectacle. Lovely viewers, many also reflected on how this story encouraged patience, not just with others but with oneself.